All right. Calling the meeting to order. Will any other ethics commissioners online please say their full names? Did we lose Darcy?
Darcy Rourke.
Okay, and I'm Adam Murray. Robert Baskerville is not present at the moment, but may join us in a minute. So let's go ahead and start with the open public comment. We have time for members of the public to raise any concerns or make any comments if they're available. So do we have anyone here who would like to make comments today? We have 3 minutes for you.
Yes, I see Rob Anderson. Please go ahead.
Mr. Anderson, you appear to be on mute still.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Now
we can. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Greetings, Ethics Commission. I've been watching, my name is Rob Anderson. I've been watching many of the meetings and appreciate the efforts because, you know, thanks to the voters and to you stepping up to this, ethics is finally going to have, you know, a true advocate, and this autonomous commission, I think will make sure that that happens. So, but I do have some concerns just over the months of watching this. First, the proposed business procedures, as stated, I don't think are in compliance with the Home Rule Charter 8.13. I won't read the whole section, but I'll just highlight that the commission is to be an autonomous commission charged with hearing and ruling of the complaints and violations. First, the fact that the commission is not getting the initial complaint violates, I think, this autonomous nature of the Ethics Review Commission. Based on the last meeting, 2 ethics complaints, possibly a third, are being withheld, and from the commission, that's what it sounded like, and they will only be brought forward, filtered by the HR director. The commission should be the first to receive these complaints since they are ultimately the authoritative body deemed by the voters. Second, the proposed business process conflicts with the charter in the following ways. In Section 4, C and Section 5C state the same thing. The director will prepare a memo outlining the complaint in the director's initial determination. This process needs to limit and define determination to, I would recommend, statement of facts that verifies the facts of the complaint and should not be allowed to make any determinations or rulings of a violation did or did not occur, even at this minor stage. Making the change would preserve the ruling powers of the commission and properly limit the scope of the HR director. The charter specifies that you, the Ethics Commission, are qualified members, so I think that you understand the nuances of complaints. Third, I'm very concerned about that the deck is getting stacked, so to speak, by not having a prosecutor process or someone or a group appointed to pursue the complaint in its fullness before the hearing process. Imagine our legal system if we didn't have a prosecutor moving the process forward. Very few charges would ever be made or executed, and we'd have a lawless society. Please protect what the people voted for and made clear. They wanted an autonomous commission charged to conduct hearings and rulings. As written today, I don't think that would fully meet those requirements. Thank you so much.
That was spectacularly timed, Mr. Anderson. You came in at exactly 3 minutes. I want to thank you for your comments. We noticed the same issues, and I think it's possible that you might have missed the last meeting where we went over a revised version of the business process, because I think we've taken care of all three of the concerns you raised. And let me explain a little bit more about why I think that. First, though, Kristen, is our business process as we had it revised, is that up on the website or is it still in draft form?
I have the copy that we edited from the last meeting. It is still in draft form, but I do have that most recent copy. I believe that HR and the guilds are still working on a revised version.
Okay, so the revised business process is still in order, but as to the first issue, as revised, the commission will always get the initial complaint. We may not get it, immediately in real time as the county gets it, but we will get the original complaint before we take on our first task of hearing and ruling on the complaint. And then as to the second concern, as revised, I believe the new business process, I believe it still does call what the county HR director does a determination, but I don't know that it matters particularly what it's called because the process itself has the HR director making a determination and then providing that to us as a recommendation. And the commission is still going to hear and rule on, every step of that process to either validate that determination or to, put forth our own determination about whether a hearing should be held or whether there's been a violation. And the third one is an interesting concern, and I have thought of that also, and it's not addressed head on by the business process as revised, but in what we've been calling the bylaws that we're going to consider today, we do provide that the complainant may have representation. And so I would hope that that would help them to be able to put forth their complaint in the best way possible. And then there's also us as the commissioners that are, neutral in considering these things and being most concerned with just getting a proper resolution. So I don't think there's a way in either the charter or the code to allow us to install a prosecutor, but hopefully by allowing the complainant to have a representative, that will go a long way towards addressing that concern. So I want to turn it over to Darcy for any comments here in a second, but first I want to say, Mr. Anderson, I do really appreciate your comments, and I hope you keep submitting them and take a look at our revised business process once we get it up on the website, and do let us know if you think we haven't addressed your concerns yet. So I'll turn it over now, Darcy, if you have anything you want to say regarding Mr. Anderson's issues.
Well, I would also like to say that we do appreciate your comments, Mr. Anderson, and hope that you will continue to provide comments as you see fit. We intend for this commission and this process to be as open as possible, and we only can make it better with comments and observations by the community. So thank you for that. Otherwise, Adam did a nice job of reviewing the process as it is at this point.
Thanks, Darcy. I see Barbara's joined us. I'm not quite sure how much of that you caught, Barbara, but did you get a chance to hear any of Mr. Anderson's comments? And if so, do you have anything you'd like to say? And you're on mute, it looks like, from.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I only heard the last couple sentences. It took me a couple minutes to get in, so no, I didn't hear what it was, and so I really don't have any comments at this time.
Okay, so Mr. Anderson did forward a written version of his complaints to me by email, and I forwarded those on to Kristen. So we'll get those distributed out, Darcy and Barbara, to you guys so that you can look at them and we could put on our agenda for next time to revisit them and make sure we've got everything addressed. If that's all right with everybody.
Thanks,
Fine with
Adam.
me.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, can I interject here?
Yes.
I wasn't sure when to do this, but since we're talking about the business process, we might as well talk about it. So, two things. One is that there is a different level of detail, and it would seem like there are also some different statements in the business process from those that are in the bylaws. And those should be, of course, made consistent. So I am concerned about that. My other concern is, and this is something that I can say has been the subject of a pretty fair amount of discussion among staff and my office. And that is whether the processes need to require that everybody get a copy of the complaint. And by everybody, that includes the respondent. And that's both for employees whose conduct is complained about and also for the set of people that are defined as elected officials. So the concern from my office is a due process concern. The ramifications of a complaint being filed against one, and then what the HR director might decide and what the commission might decide can be very damaging to the respondent. And consequently, the respondent needs to have notice and an opportunity to be heard, including an opportunity to retain counsel and to prepare a defense. So it is our concern that the respondent should know of a complaint against him or her at an early opportunity so as to be able to do that. So that is a change that we would like to see made to the business process, and we'd like to see that reflected in the bylaws to the extent that the bylaws must be consistent with the business process, though I'm not sure they have to repeat every word in the business process.
Okay, so Chris, did you, in the most recent draft of the business process, do you feel like those concerns are not sufficiently addressed?
They are not addressed.
Okay, so do you have suggestions for how the business process should be revised to address them? Because I thought they were addressed because.
Well, we had thought that it was discussed. We thought perhaps even a decision had been made, but that's not what I see in the draft that's posted.
So we went point by point through these at the last meeting. And we asked if anyone had problems with them and heard none. So did the process as we revised it in the last meeting go back and then?
I can't tell you what happened to it. I can suggest that you take a look at what's posted, and I don't think you'll find reference to providing the complaint. to the respondent.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look over the minutes of the last meeting. Kristen, if you can put those up and let's get those approved and then we can move on. So Kristen, can you scroll down a little bit? Thank you. Okay, so does anybody, once you guys have had a chance to look at that, does anybody have a motion to accept or approve the minutes from the last meeting?
Moved.
I would say,
Okay, so the minutes from the last meeting are approved. And so the next item was the business process. So Kristen, can you put up the current version of the business process as we had it at the last meeting?
Yes, just 1 second here.
Okay.
And
thank-
Chair, this is Kathleen, if I can, as she's pulling it up. I just wanted to let you know that what you all approved last time, staff did move forward with sending this out to all of our guilds and unions for potential bargaining impacts, and that response was due today. We have a couple that wanted to bargain some of the impacts, but if there is going to be any other changes, we're going to have to do that again. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's all right. So let's take a look at what Chris raised about getting a copy of the complaint to the respondent. So Kristen, if you can scroll down so that we're looking at as much of section 4 as we can. Okay. Okay. So I think the issue, the easiest way to solve the issue here, as I see it, I guess, is we talk about a complaint receipt memorandum being sent to the person filing the complaint and the person about whom the complaint was made. And I think if we have a complaint receipt memorandum include the complaint, then we've probably solved the problem for both elected officials and others.
Does the complaint receipt memorandum include the complaint?
Well, this isn't clear whether it does or doesn't. So I think if we
Right.
clarify that it does, then would that address the concern that you were talking about?
That would absolutely address my concern.
Okay, so I wonder, from a drafting perspective, maybe the thing to do, and I'm sorry because I know this is going to be trouble sending a whole new version back to the guild, but it's probably easiest to say a complaint receipt memorandum, which shall include the complaint. Parentheses, memo will be sent to the person, blah, blah, blah.
That sounds clear.
That better? So then I think, Kristen, if we take that same phrase there and add that down in the one for not elected officials.
So the one you just mentioned was in 4A and the one for employees is in 5A.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know how you want to address Mr. Anderson's concerns or whether you do not want to make any changes regarding them, but you could, at the same time, have the memo go to including the complaint, go to the commission if you wish.
Yeah, I think as long as we're doing changes, that makes sense to me. Darcy and Barbara, what do you guys think?
I agree.
I agree.
Okay, so then Kristen, in each of these in
Yeah.
4A and 4B,
Will be sent to the,
send to the person filing the complaint, comma, the employee about whom the complaint was made, comma, and the commission. Or the members. Whatever we're calling ourselves in this thing.
So this is kind of picky, but I think it's really good to call yourselves commissioners rather than members.
Okay.
I mean, what do I call you if I'm addressing you personally? Your membership? I think commissioner makes more sense, but up to you.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Agree as well.
am I changing commission to commissioners?
Yeah, that's good.
And I'll do it up above too.
Okay.
And Kristen, can you highlight the changes? Again, this is all gonna have to go back out to all the unions and guilds, and so we want to make sure we're as streamlined as possible with this process.
Yes, I will. I'll be sure, before I send it out, I'll make sure to highlight everything.
Mr. Anderson is posting things on the chat, which would not be saved by a recording, I believe. So I'm not sure if you have any response to that or not, but in general, you know, he's muted until staff unmutes him.
Okay. We can well, let's see. I suppose at the end we could circle back and read what's in the chat. For now, let's go ahead and stay focused on this. So somewhere down here below in 4, then I think it's D. There wouldn't be a reason with this revision for the HR director to send us the complaint again. So we can shorten the list in 4D, and then I think there's probably one in 5D also. So if we take out in that first line there of D, will provide, and then just we can take out the complaint. and start with an overview. And the director's conclusion memo. So that comma after complaint in D can also come out, Kristen. Okay, and then let's, Barbara and Darcy, does that look good to you? We don't need to get the complaint twice, right?
Great.
Right.
That looks good.
Okay. So down in 5 then, Kristen, let's go and look for this language again. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, Chris, Kathleen, have we addressed the concerns that are coming out of your offices?
I'll defer to Chris. Because
Okay.
I have a different perspective on this, but I respect her opinion.
Thank
Okay.
you, Kathleen. Yes, you have addressed the concerns that came from my office. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Do we have, I suppose we should have a motion about accepting these changes. So does anyone move to accept the changes we made to the business process and send it along?
So moved.
Oh, second.
Moved and seconded. Okay, the motion is passed. Okay. Anything else on the business process before we move on? All right. Next is, I think on the agenda, the bylaws. So I took a stab at trying to harmonize these with what we had in the business process, and I don't think that anything in the bylaws as I sent them out needs to change necessarily, given what we just did to the business process, except in the bylaws, I had us being called members, and maybe we should change that to commissioners. So we can make that change as we go. But first, I guess, Barbara and Darcy, did you guys get a chance to look over this? I know it went out sort of recently.
I have to admit, I didn't see them, so no, I have not looked over it.
Okay.
Did you send them out, Adam?
I didn't see him either.
Gosh, was it Friday? Was it over the weekend? I don't know. Okay. Well, there's not a lot of them, so I think if we work through them, maybe paragraph by paragraph, we might be able to get this done today, and then we'd be ready to start fielding the complaints.
Plans.
So let's just, Kristen, maybe scroll so that general is at the very top, and then we'll just bite off as much as we can take from this. Make sure that Barbara and Darcy are okay with it.
I have a question.
Okay.
Are these administrative procedures or bylaws?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that.
And is it the Ethics Commission or the Ethics Review Commission?
Okay, so this goes up to the title. So let's go ahead and start with the title, Chris, to start up at the very top. Okay, So let's put a space between Clark and County.
Oh, and I don't know why that's not letting me
Not letting you do it. Okay.
edit it, but I will make a note and make sure to put Ethics Review Commission
Okay.
and the space. It's because it's a header. I don't know.
Yeah. I so this document, as we've been working on it, I noticed as I was working on it that we've been calling it bylaws, but it's been titled administrative procedures. That seems to make more sense to me than bylaws. Chris, is there some requirement that we have bylaws?
That's a really good question, and I can't tell you the answer, and this is very procedural. So I see what you're saying, though then one wonders why we have business procedures and administrative procedures, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would suggest we leave it as administrative procedures for now, and maybe you can look into whether we're supposed to have bylaws.
yes,
Okay.
I can do that. I, of course, received this today as well. It's not the only thing that's been on my plate today. I've been through almost the whole thing. I've made a number of changes, most of which are not, you know, legally important, but they're kind of, some of them are housekeeping and this and that. But the idea of going through every single one of them as a group is kind of terrifying to me.
Okay, then that makes sense to me. That's perfectly reasonable. So I suppose then what we ought to do is maybe if Kristen can send out a red line and a clean version of this to everybody, and then we can get together again in the near future to go back over it.
That
Does
works.
anybody have a different suggestion?
No,
I'm fine with that. It makes sense.
Okay. So let me look at my calendar here and see what's going on. Okay, I'm out of town next week. So would it be possible for us to meet again on the 30th?
'30th works for me.
that's fine.
I can be present for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing I'm available too to run the meeting.
Okay, let's maybe the most efficient way for us to do this would be for me to go back through the administrative procedures, given what we did with the business process today, and I can send a new copy out to you, Kristen, today, and then you can circulate it to everybody.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
Will that include Chris's suggestions as well?
That's a good point. Chris, did you make your changes in the red line version of this?
Yes, I did.
Okay, can you send me those and then I can work from that?
Yeah, as I say, I've been, I don't know, I think it's 7 pages long. I'm on page 6 or something. So I'm almost finished. And
You
we'll
want to
do that
finish
when
it and
it's
then send it to me and I'll turn it around quickly?
Well, do you want to do it that way? That's fine.
Sure, if I think it,
Yeah, I will do that.
okay. Yeah, doesn't have to be today, but I'm out of town all next week, so
I hope you're going somewhere warm.
I do too. Um, yeah, so I think if as long as you can get it back to me as quick as you can this week, then I can get it turned back out this week. And then that'll still give, even if we don't get it all the way out until Friday, that still gives over a week
Yeah,
for people to look at it.
I will get it to you sooner than that.
Okay, that sounds good to me. All right. What else we got?
Did you discuss a time on the 30th?
We did not. We've been doing 3 as kind of our regular thing. Does that work for everybody?
Works
And
for
I'm
me.
very flexible, so
Yeah, 3 works for me.
Perfect, thank you.
okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at uh the chats and see if there's anything anybody wants to respond to. Okay, so what I see in the chats is Mr. Anderson thanking us, mentioning that he appreciates us addressing his comments and making a joke. Doesn't seem there's anything there we need to respond to, but Barbara or Darcy, do either you guys?
No.
I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Did we just lose Darcy? No, she's
No,
still.
I'm here.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, then,
This is Kristen. I do have a question, if it's all right.
Yep.
Adam, I know in the email that you had sent me with the public comment from Mr. Anderson, there was
Mm.
mention about posting online how to submit written comments. And I know for some of the other commissions, we've created a link or said on there, please submit written comments to myself as the staff member of the commission. I don't know if that's something the group would like me to add to the website or how people feel about that.
Well, I think that'd be a great addition to the website.
I agree.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, yeah, that's easy enough to do. I can have comments come to me and then forward them to the rest of the commission, and we also can post them for which meeting they go with.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks, Kristen.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, anything else, anybody?
No.
All right, well, everybody stay safe. And I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.